Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, I will be tracking heavy rainfall with flash flooding potential across the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys, followed by a snowstorm that will move across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes late this week into this weekend, followed by what could be a bigger snowstorm as we get into next week, and also the polar vortex getting disrupted across the lower 48 as we head into the middle of December. Thank you guys so much for joining here this morning. If you guys are not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button down below. It's free to do, and you get all of my exclusive weather content across Canada, the United States, and the tropics here. And also hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel, including live streams. So again, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Looking here this morning, we got the last 24 hours of precipitation, some light precipitation falling across the west, particularly across the Pacific Northwest and the desert Southwest here into portions of southeastern Arizona, picking up some decent rainfall here around the Tucson area, getting back here to the eastern side of Phoenix. A couple of inches did fall there. Some heavier rainfall across north central California, bringing a little bit of some alleviation to that drought across those areas. So that is some good news. And again, some lighter precipitation across the Dixie Alley region here, across the Arklatex, and getting back across northern Mississippi and northwestern Alabama the last 24 hours. But as we head into this afternoon, we got that strong subtropical jet feeding in with all this moisture from the eastern Pacific Ocean across the lower 48, and this is going to be the driving force behind the heavy rainfall and flash flooding threat as we head into the middle of this week across the Tennessee and Ohio river valleys, and especially so as we have that stronger subtropical jet strengthening as we head especially into that Wednesday, December 7th time frame here tomorrow, and that will bring a lot of moisture in again from the eastern Pacific Ocean. You can see we got a slower boundary here. We got a stationary boundary sitting across portions of Arkansas, northeastern Texas, getting through the Tennessee Valley here, and then getting up into portions here of Kentucky, West Virginia, and then sliding up here into the northeast. With some unsettled weather, we could definitely be seeing some steadier rains across these areas as we head into the middle of this week. And especially looking at the precipitable water values in the greens and even the blue shaded colors here moving into Texas and Oklahoma, this will be pumping in from the eastern Pacific Ocean all of that moisture. And we're about 2, 3, even up to 4 standard deviations above climatology here for precipitation as we move into the middle of this week, and that will set us up for some rainfall. Now looking at your temperatures this afternoon here for today, Tuesday, December 6th, we got the warmer air to the south. We got 70s widespread from Texas across Louisiana, Mississippi, getting into Alabama, even up into western and middle Tennessee. All that cold air will be bottled up to the north across much of Canada, getting into the Dakotas here, back into Montana and into northern Minnesota. We'll have high temperatures in the single digits and teens across those areas today, and that will continue to slide eastward with all that cold air tomorrow as well. But all the warmer air will be found to the south and the southeast with some widespread 70s, even some lower 80s not to be ruled out across the immediate Texas coast here, getting into the Louisiana coast and even down into Florida as well. So all this precipitation falling across the Tennessee and Ohio River Valley with these warm temperatures will be liquid in precipitation with rainfall likely. So looking here as we head into this afternoon, we got some scattered showers here to be found across portions of the New England, getting back here into the Tennessee River Valley. Again, not anything too terribly heavy, but definitely some steadier light rain across these areas. Maybe some snow flurries farther to the north where it's a lot colder here across eastern Montana, getting across North Dakota and northern Minnesota and getting into portions there of southern Manitoba as well. And then as we get into the overnight hours here this evening, we're going to see more of that rainfall starting to pump in from the east, from west to east across this area. We're definitely going to be seeing some rumbles of thunder potentially with those 60s and 70-degree high temperatures. Definitely some rumbles of thunder with some instability across these areas. And then again, we'll see more rainfall moving in across these same areas as we head into the day on Wednesday. A lot more steady rainfall across Maine, getting into New Hampshire, Vermont, and getting back down here toward Long Island as well. Definitely could be talking about some steadier rains there. And then even as we head into the Thursday morning time frame, we got another bout of some heavier rainfall starting to set up across the Oklahoma City metro area, getting up toward Tulsa, southern portions of Missouri, getting into northern Arkansas, western and middle Tennessee, maybe some thunderstorms there as well. And that will spread up toward the Lake of the Ozarks area into downstate Illinois, downstate Indiana. Again, this will all be liquid precipitation as we head into the morning hours on your Thursday, December 8th. So looking here over the next several days, the next 72 hours here, we got a lot of precipitation across portions here of northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, getting across the Tennessee and Ohio River valleys for the state of Tennessee, getting into Kentucky, even West Virginia here. In those blue shaded colors, we could be picking up at least an inch of rainfall. In the purple shaded colors across southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, getting through portions of Tennessee, southern Kentucky, getting into southern West Virginia, we could be talking about at least an inch and a half of rainfall. And then a little bit of some heavier rainfall could be found around the Memphis area, getting up into northwestern Tennessee. In these red shaded colors, we could be closing in on 3 inches of rain in the next 2 to 3 days. So definitely some heavier rain there. Even some heavier rain across portions of New England into the northeast as well. We could be talking about rainfall amounts averaging around an inch to an inch and a quarter across portions here of Maine, getting back into Vermont, New Hampshire, much of Massachusetts, getting into Connecticut, even northern New Jersey and eastern New York State as well. Even some heavier rains moving into the Pacific Northwest over the next couple of days with our next storm system that we'll be talking about as we head into the next week. So with all that rainfall here moving across these areas, it's no surprise the Weather Prediction Center has hoisted a marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall and flash flooding out there. That is across especially eastern Oklahoma, getting into northwestern Arkansas and southern Missouri. That extends over here into portions of western and middle Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northwestern Alabama, with that marginal risk for excessive rainfall and flash flooding as we head into that Wednesday and Thursday morning time frame. And again, with the marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall here, we got isolated to scattered flash flooding possible, mainly localized. Again, this is mainly for urban areas with those bigger cities. We have a lot of concrete, a lot of roads out there. So we still could see some isolated significant flash flooding possible, especially in the eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, and to southwestern Missouri in that slight risk area that I showed you. But then other than that, we got all of that cold air bottled up to the north, that polar vortex here all the way up into central and northern Canada. We don't have to worry about that here through the rest of this week. We got the warmer air here to the south. That will continue as we head into this weekend as well. We do have a little bit of some colder air starting to drift a little farther south into the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region as we head into that Friday and even Saturday time frame here late this week, and that will set up another storm system that could bring our first snowfall across portions of the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes as we head into that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday time frame. So starting here Thursday afternoon on December 8th, we got some showers and storms across portions here of the Missouri and Illinois valleys, getting down into the Tennessee River Valley. We do got a little bit of some snow breaking out across western and central Nebraska. That will be pushing its way a little bit farther to the east into northeastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, getting into much of Wisconsin, and then eventually into Michigan as well. And that will move its way eastward here across the Great Lakes and into portions of southeastern Canada and into the northeast. Looking at your temperatures going into Friday morning, this will be pretty marginal. We got temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s across these areas, where we'll be seeing that snowfall. So be it that wetter snowfall here with the 10-to-1 ratio on those snowfall values. So if you're shoveling the snow out there, do take it easy here in those places that do have to shovel late this week, because it will be that heavy wet snow that we see, and that will continue to carry over to the east across portions of Michigan and getting into the northeast eventually before fading away and kind of weakening as it does so on the day on Saturday. So looking at your snowfall amounts here using the European high resolution guidance, you definitely could see a couple inches, if not a few inches of snowfall here spreading across portions from central Nebraska, northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, getting through much of central and southern Wisconsin. That will spread eastward toward the Detroit area, Kalamazoo, Lansing, Michigan, into portions there of Milwaukee, Madison, Wisconsin, and then back into portions there just to the north of Des Moines. Zooming this in, again, this is showing double-digit snows across southern Wisconsin. I'm not quite buying into that much moisture with this system, but I do think there definitely could be a swath across these areas of 2 to 4 inches. There could be some localized areas getting up to 6 inches of snow, especially here into south central Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota, and getting into far western lower Michigan here. That's where we could see that swath of 2 to 4 plus inches. Again, up to 6 inches is possible, but I'm not really quite buying into the double-digit snows with this system during that December 8th through the December 10th timeframe late this week and into this weekend. But as we move into early next week, this gets pretty interesting. We got a very large dip in the jet stream all the way south here into the Four Corners and the desert southwest here. And this is going to be a major trough digging in across the west coast. And that will continue and take more of a negative tilt as we head toward early next week on your Tuesday, December 13th time frame. And looking here at the guidance, we're going to look at 3 different model runs to see what the track of this storm system will truly look like here. So looking first at the European high resolution guidance, you have the system's warm sector moving up into the Midwest here across portions of the Illinois Valley, getting into portions here of the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys. That's where we could see some rainfall and some thunderstorms, maybe even some severe weather. But we have the cold air wrapping around here on the backside. That could be bringing some heavier snows across northern plains into the far upper Midwest with the European guidance. Now, in comparison, the GFS is a little bit more bullish on bringing this system a little farther north. It has that warm sector all the way up here into the Great Lakes. I do think the GFS is quite a bit of an outlier here. I do think it's a little too far north, but gives you a similar idea to what the European guidance is showing here, with all that cold air wrapping around here with that stronger cold front and some storms on the leading edge of that cold front as well. And then you have the Canadian forecast model, or the GDPS model. It's a lot colder of a solution. We have a lot more colder air farther south, and also that low pressure system farther south as well. And that means the warm sector will be a little bit more pinched off here farther to the south, and bringing a lot more of that colder air in, and that snow swath a little farther south as well across much more of the Midwest and the Great Lakes. So looking here at the European forecast guidance, again, we have 50s and 60s all the way northward into southern Illinois, into Missouri, southern Iowa here as well. And you can see that swath of heavier snowfall could extend into the Dakotas, into Minnesota and Wisconsin here with the European forecast guidance, with that system a little farther to the north. That means that snow swath will be farther to the north with all that cold air, and that, you know, the warm sector with the showers and storms, maybe some severe weather breaking out, could be a little farther to the south across downstate Illinois, getting into portions of the Arklatex and the Tennessee Valley. Now, in comparison, the Canadian model is a lot colder of a solution here that I was showing you, and has those 20s and 30s a little farther to the south across much more of the Midwest. And again, that warm sector is a little bit more pinched off here farther to the south, with those 40s, 50s, and 60s farther to the south across the Arklatex and the Dixie Alley region, and even across the immediate Gulf Coast. And again, that snow swath is a little bit farther south, encompassing a lot more of the Midwest across Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, getting back into Nebraska. So we'll just have to keep an eye on the track of the storm system as we head into early next week. That'll be something that we'll continue to watch and fine-tune for you. And just giving you the perspective of how uncertain this is right now here, about a week out from this system. The Weather Prediction Center has a large area in the light green, at least a 10% chance of a probability of melted snow or sleet over a quarter of an inch. That means around a couple of inches of snow here are possible, at least a 10% chance across a very large swath of the northern plains and the upper Midwest. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the track of this system, so we'll continue to watch this in the days to come. But what is much more likely as we head towards that third week in December is that polar vortex is going to come back with a vengeance, especially across the northwestern plains and into the northwest United States as well. We have those below normal temperatures favored across much of the western states here, from the Rockies on west, across those areas here during that Tuesday, December 13th time frame, and all the way through that Monday, December 19th time frame here, with the warmer air up into the northeast. And again, that active storm track will be across portions of the west, getting into the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and the northeast. Some drier weather can be expected, especially across Texas and the immediate Gulf Coast as well, during that third week in December. So looking here at the AO index, this is the Arctic oscillation, and you can see these values are actually trending very far negative actually on this value. You have the positive numbers up above, you got the zero value, which is neutral here, and then you have the negative values, and that's really where we're trending very negative here on the values, getting down closer here eventually toward that -4, -5, maybe getting close to -6 here as we get toward that third week in December, and that will assure a lot of colder air farther south with that polar vortex here as we get into that Wednesday time frame behind that storm system. Whatever happens with that snow system, if it's farther north, farther south, it doesn't matter. I think that polar vortex anyway will start to move farther south. That will continue as we head toward late next week on December 16th on your Friday, and then really starting to move in across much of the west, the Rockies, and even the Central Plains as we get into next weekend here on Sunday, December 18th. So looking here at that time frame, again, we'll continue to watch that for you guys with that snowstorm. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. And most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Thanks for all the new subscribers out there. I definitely appreciate it. Hit that notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great Tuesday, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.